Welcome to Hatman Strikes Back Daily Boxing News. So we had the press conference for Dillian Whyte versus Joyce and Lawrence Okolie versus Richard Riakporhe. Also on the card, you've got David Adeleye taking on Jamie TKV. There was talk of Moses Atalma fighting Charles Martin on the card as well, but neither fighter was at the press conference. It's possible it could get added to the card later on, but for now, that rumor has not yet been confirmed as true, whereas the other fights obviously have been now confirmed as true. As I say, the press conference took place today, and it was very entertaining. And for my money, Lawrence Okolie won this press conference. I thought he was actually low-key hilarious with his deadpan jibes about Madonna, obviously directed towards Richard Riakporhe. Had me cracking up. In fact, he had a lot of people cracking up in the room, including other fighters at the table, including Frank Warren when he was coming with the Madonna jibes. So yeah, I thought the exchange between Okolie and Riakporhe was very entertaining. Hopefully the fights is entertaining, although a lot of people don't have high hopes. Most people perhaps. To reiterate what I said in the previous video about that particular matchup, I'm picking Lawrence Okolie to win. I like his recent form better, and I do think he's got a bit more nuance to his game than Riakporhe. I've always felt that. And obviously Okolie's fought at heavyweight once, obviously, although it was only once and the fight didn't go around, but he also fought at bridgerweight, didn't go around either, but again, it's still experience against bigger guys. Whereas for Richard Riakporhe, this will be his first fight at heavyweight. And Lawrence Okolie is a heavyweight. I mean, he came in, what was it, 260 something for his last fight, and looking at him at the press conference, he looks like he still weighs about that now. Not that all that weight will necessarily be a good thing. Richard Riakporhe in interviews today has indicated that he's not trying to bulk up. He's trying to go the Alexander Usyk route of adding a minimal amount of weight in order to retain speed and coordination and stamina and so on over these bigger guys. Okolie seemed very confident. He seemed much more comfortable during the press conference. Riakporhe did seem a bit reserved and a bit tense maybe. But of course, all that matters is what takes place on the night, who shows up on the night. And who knows, maybe Riakporhe is the one who gets the W. We will see. But I suspect it'll be Lawrence Okolie, and I reckon he might get it done inside the distance. I don't want to put a round on it right now. Maybe I'll do so closer to the fight, but I reckon Lawrence Okolie stops Richard Riakporhe. But let me know what you guys think about this fight in the comment section below. Then, of course, we've got the Dillian Whyte-Joyce fight. They had a very friendly exchange at the press conference. In fact, it was so friendly, it was almost a bromance. I mean, Dillian Whyte was trying to take digs at Joyce, but Joyce kept laughing at Dillian Whyte's digs. Do you know what I mean? He was like laughing at all Dillian Whyte's jokes about him and kind of playing into the jokes, you know, about him being slow and all that type of stuff. Dillian likes to be antagonistic typically with his opponents, but Joyce was able to neutralize that by the answers he gave. And Dillian Whyte ended up saying, you know what, Joyce is a nice guy, got nothing against him, and he was laughing along with him and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Joyce managed to neutralize Dillian Whyte's barbs, and it all got very friendly and pally-pally, particularly towards the end of their exchange. Hopefully it won't be pally-pally in the ring. Dillian Whyte, of course, has got a history of being ferocious in the ring. He's never been the greatest fighter in the world, but he's a trier and he's aggressive. He's got a very alpha personality. Joyce, on the other hand, is a very kind of laid back, gentle giant, jovial type of character. But when it's time for action, he comes out, you know, throwing hands slowly, but throwing them nonetheless. And again, as I said in a previous video, if Joyce works on keeping this fight long behind his jab, the way he did against Daniel Dubois, I know that was a long time ago, and Joyce has taken a lot of punishment since then, but he doesn't necessarily have to be quite as good as he was when he beat Dubois to beat Dillian Whyte. He just needs to be better than he was against Chisora. And if he can do that and fight behind the jab, not get involved in exchanges, then I think Joyce wins the fight. Despite the fact he's such a huge man, I think he's got the quicker feet than Dillian Whyte. I think he's got better balance than Dillian Whyte, truth be told. And going off Whyte's last performance against Ebenezer Tete, which was terrible, like I say, I have to favor the big man, the juggernaut. And finally, the other heavyweight fight, which has been so far confirmed on this bill, they both appeared at a press conference, is David Adeleye versus Jamie TKV. They've apparently sparred in the past. They were very friendly with each other. Really not much back and forth between them at all. Adeleye is 13-1. TKV is just 8-1. Adelaye's loss, of course, was to Fabio Wardley, who stopped him. TKV's loss was just 4 fights ago to a Brazilian called Igor Macedo. TKV got stopped in a cut in that fight. Since then, he's rebounded with 3 wins. And of course, Adeleye has had 1 win since the loss to Fabio Wardley, which was a first-round KO victory over Solomon Dakers, and a very impressive KO victory, a 1-punch knockout. So you could say both guys are at similar stages of their careers. Adeleye is slightly younger at 28 years of age. TKV is 31. Both guys are listed at 6 feet 4 inches tall. Adeleye is the faster, more explosive, more athletic of the two. And based on what I've seen of them both, I would favor him to win this fight. I'm not sure whether he'll stop TKV because TKV appears to be quite tough. He certainly showed some toughness against that Brazilian guy in his loss. Remember, that fight was stopped on a cut. So I don't know whether or not Adeleye is going to stop him, but I do think Adeleye is going to win the fight. And this will be a 10-rounder. Neither guy has actually been the full 10-round distance yet. So yeah, that's my take on that fight. This, to my knowledge, will be Frank Warren's first show on DAZN on April 5th. This will be at the Co-op Live Arena in Manchester. I'm sure more fights will get added to it, but so far it's shaping up well. Heavyweights, generally speaking, give you bang for your buck, especially when you're matching rivals or younger heavyweights and so on. Okolie and Riakporhe are both still relatively young. Adeleye and TKV are both still young. Whyte and Joyce are obviously not young at all. They're older fighters. You've also got the pro debut of Delicious Ori. I always feel weird even pronouncing that name. It just sounds off key. But he is a UK Olympian making his pro debut on this card against TBA, probably some journeyman. So anyway, let me know what you guys thought about this press conference. Let me know what you think about these fights. Were you disappointed that Moses Itauma and Charles Martin wasn't announced for this card? A lot of people seem to like that matchup. But as I say, it might get added to it in the coming weeks. We will see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about all this. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out. Are you surrounded by mindless bots in human form who adhere to the norm and blindly conform? Who swallow all the mainstream BS and actually ridicule you for questioning things? Do you wish you had more free-thinking individuals in your life to network and converse with? Well, look no further. We're right here. Come and join the Brotherhood of Reason on Patreon. You'll gain access to my weekly topical content where we take deep dives on an endless variety of subjects, as well as my vast back catalogue of podcasts, videos, interviews, movie decodings, and my Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You'll also get to talk and network with myself and hundreds of other people in our members chat. You can enjoy all this via the Patreon app or on desktop and download all my podcasts in high-quality MP3. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store, or simply visit patreon.com on a web browser. Then head on over to my page and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. All the links are in the description box below. And just a quick money-saving tip for Apple users. If you purchase your Patreon subscription on the desktop site or on Android, then you'll avoid the ridiculous 30% fee that Apple charges for purchases made on the iOS app. So if you're on iPhone or iPad, save yourself some money by buying your subscription on the actual Patreon website or on Android because it's a lot cheaper. Once you've made that initial purchase, you can then use the Patreon app on your iPhone or iPad thereafter to access and enjoy your content as normal.